Today's social media segment is brought to you by Alford and Associates for all of your insurance needs. CIS, Cardiovascular Institute of the South, the highest quality cardiovascular care available. Barker Honda, the Barker family tradition of quality.
Welcome to Bayou Time. I'm Jacob DeGate and glad to be your host of tonight's edition of Bayou Time. We're glad to be joined by the Mayor of Thibodaux, Kevin Clement. Thank you very much for joining us.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me, Jake.
All right. I know we've had a little bit of wet weather today. Can you tell us how the city of Thibodaux's faring with all the rain?
City of Thibodaux fared out pretty well. You know, anytime you have inclement weather like we had this morning, you have to be aware, have to be alert. Sure. But I can tell you this story. It all goes back to teamwork, and I'll tell you a quick story. At 6:15 this morning, my phone went off with a text message from my emergency preparedness director, and he was scheduled to be off yesterday and today. And he sent me a message. He said, "Hey, just for your information, I'm in the office. I'll be here all day. I'm monitoring the weather. I'll let you know, keep everybody abreast of changes as we go." At 6:30, I got another text message from my parks director talking to my public works director, and she was just telling him that she had all of her employees on standby, and they were ready to help out and assist with anything that came up during the day. You know, the ditches, the drains, all this stuff that needs to be cleaned out. It's remarkable to sit back as an administrator of these people and watch them do their job.
It makes it a lot easier when you have a great team around you.
It's tremendous. It's tremendous. And, you know, the old saying, you know, me and Keith had these conversations about basketball, right? You're only, if you have one person doing things, that's really good. But if you have 5 people pulling together, working as a team,
sure,
you can get so much accomplished. And just to watch the camaraderie and the communication going across, and this is at 6:15, 6:30 in the morning when the weather hadn't really gotten bad yet. They were already prepping for it. It gives you a sense of pride. You know you're doing things right. Things like that happen.
Sure. Okay, well, let's move on a little bit. I know you have some other events that you've had some that taken place recently. I believe you wanted to discuss about the Bayou King Cake Festival.
I do.
Tell us?
I want to talk about the Bayou King Cake Festival that is transitioned, and it's now going to be called the Louisiana King Cake Festival. Deanna LaFont and her group have done a tremendous job with this. This was the second year they had it. It was tremendous. They had over 6,500 people attended this event. It was held in downtown Thibodaux. We kind of expanded. They expanded their footprint a little bit this year. I forget how many different vendors cooked king cake and served king cake. It was remarkable. If you bring that picture back up, Jason. So you see Deanna and her team, and you see a clown in a jacket up there. But what you see on the right is from Spars, and they're called king cake beignets. They actually won this year's contest. Those things are available for a limited time at the Spars downtown Thibodaux. I strongly suggest and encourage you guys to go eat that.
They do look good.
Oh man, they were delicious. That event. It raised over $130,000 this year. Wow. And all that money goes to Louisiana educators, to Thibodaux, the Fouche Parish educators, I'm sorry. The support staff, the teachers, they can petition for it in the form of grants, and they give all that money back to the community. So well-attended event. It certainly was a lot of fun. Me and my entire family participated in it and tasted as much king cake as they allowed us to taste. They do a great job. And the fact that it's renamed to the Louisiana King Cake Festival is just going to grow. It's just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. So next year, we're looking forward to just as much success as they had this year.
Well, sounds great. And I know that that's just one of many festivals that you have. You'll have some more that are upcoming.
We do.
Can you
We do.
tell us
On May, well, of course, we had the Farmers Fair. I saw Jimmy Leday and I forget who was the moderator last night, but I know they were talking about the Fireman's Fair. Fireman's Fair is from May 2nd to May 5th. It's held on Tiger Drive in Thibodaux. It's our annual fundraiser for our fire department. All the companies get together and they throw a a huge party, tremendous event. Starts Thursday, ends Sunday. There's a parade Sunday midday, probably around 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock during the day. And there's an auction. The auction is kind of a separate event in itself. That's held on Saturday and Sunday nights. I think the auction made well over $1 million last year. So it wouldn't be right if I didn't all those service people that give their time and their talents for the protection and the good of our community certainly have to be acknowledged. And our firemen do a great job every day of the year. I think it's only right that we give back for 4 days. And it's a fun event.
Definitely. Yeah, they also put on a pretty good event too.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's a great time.
If you want to eat and you want to ride some rides and listen to some great bands, come on out. So they have bands every night. I think Friday and Saturday are the headline events. I'm not exactly sure who they were. But we like to listen to the music just as much as anybody. It's a good time had by all.
It definitely is. And I think I've probably been going there almost every year for about 20 years now, but I've never actually made my way over to the auction. Yeah. And I always hear my friends, always talk about how fun of a time that in itself is. And maybe one year I'll actually make it over there.
It is. To watch those auctioneers, and they rotate auctioneers, it's a good time. It's an event, And then on May 11th, we have our Fraternal Order of Police Mudball Cook-Off. That's also held in downtown Thibodaux. You see a picture right there, some good eating crawfish. There's my good buddy, Peter Battaglia, stuffing his face with some crawfish. Didn't tell him I'd put his picture on the news, but there you go, Pete. There's one for you. So that our FOP, I forget how much money they make, but all that money, half of it goes to the FOP, half of it goes to charitable organizations. Let's see, I wrote it down. They made $120,000 last year from cooking crawfish. And then, all the profits gets allocated to nonprofit different organizations throughout the city. Once again, the money stays home. It's a good event, and we love having those type of things going on in Thibodaux.
Great event, and especially a lot of people haven't had the pleasure of having crawfish yet this year now.
You're right.
The prices come down a little bit, so you're able to have events like this, so it's a great time to get out there and try some if you haven't had some yet.
Sure.
We do need to take a quick break, though. We'll be back with more right here on HTV.
Today's social media segment is brought to you by Alford and Associates for all of your insurance needs. CIS, Cardiovascular Institute of the South, the highest quality cardiovascular care available. Barker Honda, the Barker family tradition of quality.
Welcome back to Bayou Time. I'm Jacob DeGate, and I'm sitting here with the mayor of Thibodaux, Kevin Clement. Talking a little bit, during the break, you do have some ongoing projects in Thibodaux to improve the city. One of them, obviously very visible to everybody, is the roundabout on Canal Boulevard. Yeah. Can you give everybody an update on where we're at?
Sure. Things are progressing. You can see right now, those are drone images that were taken probably about 2 weeks ago. We met with the construction engineer on site. They are about 68 to 70% complete for this project. It did get pushed back from late August to maybe the beginning of October. The weather had a factor to do with that. When they switch over, they're going to switch over lanes. I don't know, Jason, if you want to pull that other slide up now or not, if you even have it, but the traffic pattern is going to switch slightly. It's not major, but it's going to switch. So if you're coming in from the south, from Houma, you're going to stay on the left side and be able to go to Jackson Street, or stay on the right side and keep going to North Canal. Same thing with coming back. So if you could look at it, they pretty much have completed 2/3 of that on the left side. Now they're addressing all the infrastructure and the drainage and everything on the right side. It's coming along quicker than I thought. I thought this would be a long, drawn-out process. But LA Contracting has been on the ball. Their communication has been really, really excellent. So we meet periodically. We started meeting last Thursday, and that's going to be a scheduled meeting every second or third week until this project's finished. I know people have complaints, and I know and we hear them. And I have the same issues. but I promise you, when this is over with, it's going to be a staple in our community, and it's going to be something that people can actually look forward to going around instead of dreading it. Once again, this was a Department of Transportation project. The state saw the need. It was a heavily trafficked area. It was a heavily accidental prone area. So they thought they needed to change it. And here we are. So be a little bit more patient. We have about 3 or 4 months of this, and then you're going to have something that the city is going to be proud of.
Yeah, I think patience is key, and then don't just judge it off the first time you go through it. You know, as people get more used to it, I think people will like it a lot better.
Inevitably, what happens with these projects is 4 or 5 months after people get used to it, they like, oh my God, why didn't we do this sooner? But you know, they have their issues and their complaints, and and I understand it.
Certainly,
I sympathize with it.
Yeah. Okay, talking about other departments you have in the city of Thibodaux. I know one that is a lot of people like to enjoy their time. Parks and Recreation helps them out with that in a lot of different ways. Can you tell us some updates with that?
Springtime in Parks and Rec is challenging. I've been through it for 12 years. I know what they go through. Now they're gearing up and setting up all our leagues. Baseball is always going to be huge, right? I think when I spoke to my parks director, my recreation director yesterday, she said they had over 1,000 people signed up, 1,000 kids signed up for baseball already. You know, we have a baseball program for baseball heroes. It's special needs. We were granted a $250,000 grant from Nungesser in his office. We have to match that. So there's going to be a $500,000 Miracle Field of Dreams for our kids. We're going to start that in August as soon as this season's over. You see right there, we bring out the local high school teams, E.D. White, Thibodaux High, Nichols has even come. We gather our older kids, our 15 and 16-year-old kids. They come down and help our special needs players who are of all ages, and it never fails. Those people take away so much more than what they gave those kids. It's truly remarkable. We just got finished a volleyball league that, you know, we prepared for early in the winter. We have that over. That's going to finish this week. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention our swim team. We have over 200 people that swim on our swim team. We're going to, by the time June comes, we're going to have 700 people taking swimming lessons at our public pool, which has a splash pad, and it has a new system in place for our pool. So, you know, those type of recreational programs, it takes a lot of work. You have to hire people. You have to get insurance. You have to communicate and get teams together, hustle up coaches. Nowadays, hustling up coaches is just as big as issue as anything. So, you know, hats off to April Corto and her recreation department. They seem to be on it. We'll know when middle of May comes here if she's done a great job or not. So, you know,
depends on how many rainouts you get, because then you got to reschedule everything.
Absolutely.
And that's another tough issue that you're always dealing with, especially in the springtime with all the rain you get.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But, you know, our fields, we have 4 turf fields now at Pelche Park. So we're a little bit better than what we were 10, 12 years ago when we first took over. So those type of events, a little light rain like what we have going on right now, we can still play on those 4 fields. You couldn't do that all the time. You know, and it's all a process. You know, you start in mid-May and you end up in July. Hopefully kids get something out of it. So I'm looking forward to it. We did, one of those pictures that Jason had up there was we put in a new, probably $300,000 special handicap accessible playground. And you see it up top. What you see right there is a cruiser. The participants and the community members can actually get in there in their wheelchairs, in their walkers. It's kind of like a little shaker type of handicap merry-go-round, if you will. But the entire play area right there is handicap accessible, and you should see the amount of kids that can get on there. It is truly remarkable. That's inside of Pelche Park. We're super proud of that. We're super proud of the work that we do for that community, because all it takes is one event, and you watch one family just have their kid become a normal kid for a short time. When you see those smiles, it's all worthwhile.
Definitely a good job there, and some good parks to enjoy. And hopefully we have some good weather this weekend. I think we will, and people can get out there and enjoy. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, stay tuned for more right here on HTV.
Today's social media segment is brought to you by Alford and Associates for all of your insurance needs. CIS, Cardiovascular Institute of the South, the highest quality cardiovascular care available. Barker Honda, the Barker family tradition of quality.